What is up, Nerd Vendors? I am excited to be getting into some of this nerdy news. This lovely Friday morning, we have some cool news coming out from Star Wars. We've got some good news. We got some cool Loki updates, and also we have some interesting She-Hulk casting news, which we went over a little bit in the Nerdventure stream last night, but we're going to talk about this morning. I want to start off with the Star Wars news, though. I want to start off with some casting rumors, casting confirmed, and also we have some Boba Fett updates. First, though, we have some show notes. Don't forget that today, 2 p.m., we have our Prime stream for the Nerdventures Prime members. And also, we have the Nerdventures stream tomorrow, but it's going to be delayed. So I think Josh said it'll be around 6-ish, around that time. But you're going to want to look out for any updates on when that's going to be. And we might even see a couple new family members, a couple new Nerdventures running around. We might have some of that to show you. So, yeah, don't miss that. If you guys are a Nerdventure, you're going to want to get on those. You're going to want to be a part of that, get some new updates on what's going on with the channel. And let's get into some of this news, shall we? I really just want to start with this Star Wars news. We have a couple of stories. Number one, it appears that Krennic, Ben Mendelsohn's role as Orson Krennic, is going to be returning to the Star Wars universe in the Star Wars series Andor. So this story is going to follow some of the Rogue One characters. I'm super excited to see what they do with it. I still have to see Rogue One. I'm a little behind on my Star Wars fun stuff, but I do just want to let you guys know that I am excited for the series despite that, and I think it's shaping up to be a really cool series. Yesterday it also came out that Saw Gerrera was going to be in it, which is another beloved character. So I think it's going to be a fun series, and I'm sure Josh will touch on this in today's Nerdy News Rundown. But as for me, that's all I have to say about it. I'm sorry, guys. I will learn to simp for Filoni and Star Wars. I promise. Now I want to touch on some Boba Fett updates, but let's bring us in to the theater. All right, this is coming from Rotten Tomatoes. This is a interview that they did with him. You can see here with Rotten Tomatoes, and it was for a sci-fi film or series that he's going to be a part of. But they asked him about Boba Fett, and his lips were pretty sealed about it. But he did touch on this aspect of it. So he was asked, Morrison was asked, will we see more of that Boba Fett, the hand-to-hand fighting Boba Fett in the new series, referring to his role in Mando. And it says, well, we can't say too much, but we're going to see his past and where he's been since the Empire Strikes Back. Somebody pointed out that he's been kind of stuck in one place, and now's the time to actually go back in time and check out his journey and find out more about him. So this is really interesting because I actually really love Boba Fett's character, and one of the things that I was really hoping they would do this year is explore some of his backstory, how he got to be where he is, because in the prequel trilogy we see him as this young boy, and he has some pretty traumatic things happen to him early on. You know, he watches his father die at the hands of the Jedi, and so he has this great backstory, you know, and it creates this great character arc for him, but they don't really ever elaborate on that. So then you get him in Mando, and you're just kind of like, yo, this guy's epic. But I would have loved to have seen more of him and seen more of how he kind of grows to be that person. So what's interesting is it looks like in the book of Boba, they're going to touch on that. I'm really hyped for the show. Let me know. Drop some ones in the chat if you're also excited for the Book of Boba to come out, because I am getting super stoked. I think it's gonna be great. Let's see how y'all are See how y'all feeling. Drop some ones into the chat if you're feeling Book of Boba and you're excited to see him kind of go back in time. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it looks like everyone's really excited. I'm really excited. Boba is one of those characters that I really love, but I want to see more of and see more of how he got there. So, let us move on, shall we? Some interesting news came out about She-Hulk yesterday. I want to touch on that real fast, and then I want to go into the theater. Well, we're already in the theater. We shall watch some very, very fun clips. We had a new Black Widow clip come out, but first, Jamila Jamil joins the cast of She-Hulk as the villainous Titania. This is an exclusive coming from the Illuminati. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it on the NERDVENGING stream, and also I believe in the NNR, but I just want to touch on this because it's a really interesting character to include in the show. This article says, our sources have revealed that Jamila Jamil has been cast as the infamous She-Hulk villain, Titania. We revealed last November new details on 5 supporting roles, including an adversary for Bruce Banner's cousin, codenamed Lucy. This villain is a Kardashian-esque social media influencer in her 30s with a dark side. And now, with a bit more digging, we have learned this character will be the notorious Titania. So this is really interesting. It looks like she's going to be kind of a socialite. So that will be really fun. And also we have some interesting just backstory for her character. In the comics, we know that the villain Titania fought for Doctor Doom in Secret Wars, and there's also been Secret War tie-ins in Loki, so that's been super crazy just in general. And I think it will be fun to see if they continue to have any of these Secret War tie-ins in the future of the She-Hulk series, especially when connecting Titania to the universe. So I think it will be fun to see, and we're going to really get into some of these Marvel characters that I know like Josh has been looking forward to, and I've been looking forward to, and Marvel fans have been looking forward to everywhere. So really excited for that, and I think it's going to be interesting. She's also part of the Masters of Evil. She was a part of the Frightful Four and the Femizons, so there's lots of different tie-ins that they could use. But she is one of those villains that Jennifer Walters has some really fun face downs with in the in the comics. So it also reads in this article, I just want to touch on this. We touched on this a little last night. The social media influencer aspect looks to be an intriguing new take on the villain. It will be interesting to see how faithful the Disney Plus series stays to Titania's comic book origins, or if it takes an entirely new approach to the villain, which, given the ties to Doctor Doom and Secret Wars, seems like a very real possibility, and how her rivalry comes into play with Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, will also be fun to watch. She will begin as a nemesis of Jennifer Walters, or will she begin as She-Hulk's enemy? So this is something we kind of talked about, this social influencer aspect of the character, and kind of the fact that Disney tends to villainize more shallow kind of characters who are more focused on things like beauty or like meeting society standards of stuff like that. So I think it will be fun to see how they handle that, especially with the fact that there have been so many feminist or woke characters coming into the MCU lately. You know, we have America Chavez. Her character is very progressive, very woke, as the kids say these days. We have She-Hulk coming up, and we also have things like Black Widow. So I think it's going to be fun to see exactly how this works out and how they're kind of going to play this out, especially because we even have, Titania is going to be cool, but also we have Marvel is making a documentary series highlighting the women of Marvel and how those superheroes have impacted fans everywhere. So they seem to be really pushing this feminist aspect and this very woke aspect of Marvel. So Marvel's pushing a lot of different things. They're pushing a lot of interesting points, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it, especially with the speculation that Captain Marvel went through, a lot of that, and how it was kind of like they did it okay, but I mean there was a lot of people griping about it. A lot of people didn't like how they handled it, including myself, and so I really just hope they learn from their mistakes and they're able to move on. I want to pull up now for you a very fun little bit that we have coming from Gugu Mbatha-Raw. Oh,
the missions.
All right, sweet. So, for those of you who don't know, Gugu Mbatha-Raw is Judge Renslayer in the Loki series. Goodness gracious. And she is playing this kind of crazy judge role, but she came out in an interview and said some interesting things. Yeah. She came out and talked about Ravonna and how she kind of is an interesting character that we're going to see more of. And you can see this is an article from The Hollywood Reporter. Someone asked her, Ravonna strikes me as someone who's not revealing all her cards just yet. So what can you tease about Ravonna overall? She said, yeah, she has a lot on her shoulders. She has a lot of responsibility. She has to make some morally ambiguous choices. As a judge, she doesn't want to compromise the position she's worked really hard to get to. But when the stakes get high, she has to get out of the office. She has to get out from behind that desk and get into action as well. So that's when she has to call upon her military training, and we get to see a whole other side of her, and this is what's really interesting, she said. So there's a lot of secrets, there's betrayal, there's lots of layers of Renslayer to come. So it seems like we're going to see a lot more of Judge Renslayer in the future of the Loki series, but it also seems to me that there's some interesting tie-ins here where she talks about betrayal and secrets, and it just goes back to the fact that I really believe the TVA is nefarious in nature. I don't think we have a really great TVA. I'm sorry. But it just seems to me like everyone's kind of it's just kind of strange to me. I mean, even I was talking to Josh about this, but even Miss Minutes, her voice is like definitely a little bit nefarious in nature. I don't trust her. I don't trust the TVA. I don't trust anyone. And I think I have a reason not to, okay? I think I have a very good reason not to. I mean, in general, these characters, you just know not to trust them. They have way too much power. They seem to predetermine everything, and that to me just seems like there has to be someone behind it all, running things, making decisions that are only to benefit themselves. And I think we could see some of that in the betrayal that Judge Renslayer is talking about. But to play off of that, Gugu Mbatha-Raw did a little interview of sorts. So we're going to go back into the theater and we're going to watch this very interesting, very fun little clip. So I'm going to play this.
Loki Laufeyson. I sentence you to be reset.
You ridiculous bureaucrats will not dictate how my story ends!
It's not your story, Mr. Laufeyson. It never was. Renslayer works for the TVA, this bureau that really maintains the integrity of time. Anything goes sideways, it's on you.
I feel like I'm always looking up to you. It's appropriate.
She's powerful. She's well respected.
She has enormous authority.
She's someone that's worked her way up the ranks. I think Gugu really captured that journey.
Why do you get to keep all the trophies from my cases?
Because I approve the missions.
Good point.
There's a lot of betrayal and mischief. It's really wonderful. Cheers. I'm excited to watch the show myself.
All right, so that was kind of interesting how they just touch on how she's going to betray someone. And you even see that in the fact that they talk about, you know, she's worked her way up. She's kind of gone through the ranks, and now she's at a point where she's in charge and she has all this authority. And she's, you know, taking credit for things that Mobius has been working on. And she's able to kind of deal with this position of power. And then also going out into the field. I like that they specified she has some sort of military training. And we see a little bit of that in that clip. So I think this will be interesting to see. I want to watch one more clip with you guys. This one is a new clip that came out about Black Widow. So let's pull this up. This is a brand new clip for the Black Widow movie, and Black Widow has been trending on Twitter today, so I think it will be interesting to see if the hype levels get back up. This already has 95.2k views, so let's watch along, shall we? Alright, it looks like girls from the Red Room, maybe? We're finally getting some action, guys. Some Marvel action.
Where are we trying to get? Motorbike! East side of the building! Polisen är på privat. Uppfattat, jag förföljer.
Dang, these are some good shots.
I got you!
Dang. Yo, that was kind of interesting. There are some crazy action pieces in that, at least to me. I am kind of shocked, I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of an interesting little bit to show. But dang, I'm excited. If the movie is like that, it's gonna be fantastic. I think it was also interesting just to see Scarlett and Florence Pugh's characters kind of go work together against these, you know, women of the Red Room, I'm assuming, working for the Taskmaster, and just how, you know, they have the same training that they did, if not better, as time has progressed. So it is going to be interesting to see Black Widow kind of go against some characters, some people who have the same skills as her, who are kind of like evening out the playing field. And I definitely, I'm excited to see that play out, and just to see how they handle this also with Florence Pugh's character, Elena. So I think they have some really great opportunities there. It seems like, I mean, I'm even more excited after watching that clip. I'm going to be real honest. I was not super I was not super hyped for Black Widow. Like, I was excited to see it, But this, I feel like as long as they keep doing what they're doing, they're really like helping the movie to kind of build the hype. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do and if they continue to build that. I know the movie's coming out soon. Yeah, a lot of people excited for Black Widow. Okay, I want to ask you guys this. So I want you to put a 1 into the chat if you feel like that clip made you more hype for Black Widow. I want you to put a 2 in the chat if you thought it was cool, but, you know, your hype level is still pretty, like, even keel. Not that exciting. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Because I feel like that built a lot of hype for me, but I just don't know how well this movie, like, hype-wise is going to do. How much it's trending on Twitter right now. But, I mean, really, it's been so long since they said it was going to come out. And I mean, there is the fact that the director said they haven't touched it in a year. So, I mean, that to me says it's probably a good movie, but even then, it's not. I'm not too sure about it. All right, we got a pretty good mix of 1s and 2s. Some people getting more hype. I see some 2s, people saying they were already hyped. We got a 1.5, so maybe like you're only a little bit hype, a little bit more hype. Mike Porter says I've been hyped from the beginning. Carl Wickstrom says low hype for Black Widow. Black Widow gonna kill it? Yeah. Bruce Almaldi says full on MCU will be back. Are you not entertained? I'm entertained. I'm just gonna be honest. I feel like this has been something that I've just been waiting so long for, and I'm just getting so tired of waiting for it, and I just want it to be out so I can watch it. Because I feel like they really lost a lot of that hype just in how long they've taken to get it out. And I know that the Pandy had a lot of stuff to do with that, but I want to see it. I want it to be out already. Yes, Lavis, I'm with you. Just drop it already. They just need to drop it. Now is the perfect time. You got the hype from the trailer. Give it to us now. I guess not trailer. But it's going to be really fun to see. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be really good. Yeah, I feel like if they put it out now, it'd probably do pretty well. We'll see how they continue to put things out. That tower stunt was really cool. I really appreciated that little tower stunt. They did her wrong twice. First, waiting till she's dead to give her a movie. 2, all the delays and previews. LOL. That's true. I mean, I know I was really pushing for a Black Widow movie early on. I felt like she was a fun character that they could have really done some cool stuff with, and then it just took her death. And then they were like, yeah, let's give her a movie. That seems about right. Let's do it right now. That's my Disney exec voice. You're welcome. But then again, I will say right now it seems to be the time of women, super women, and not superwoman, but super powered women and super amazing women just in the MCU with Miss Marvel coming out. We got America Chavez and Doctor Strange 2. We got She-Hulk coming out soon. Like, there's just a lot of things. Even Lady Loki, which is rumored to be in the Loki series. So, it's going to be interesting. It seems to be a good time for Lady Vengers, too. We're going to get to really enjoy our time in the nerdy world. Speaking of Loki, I want to talk about according to Deadline, Loki like broke some records for Disney Plus series and the momentum there. Samba TV reports that Loki's Wednesday premiere drew 890,000 U.S. households, which the third-party streaming stat organization said this is the largest U.S. premiere day audience for any of Marvel's Disney Plus shows. That's a lot of people. Okay, that's a lot of people. I'm like kind of amazed by that, especially because, you know, a lot of people were concerned that the move to Wednesdays would really kind of affect the show and kind of like, you know, make the premiere a little bit harder. A lot of people wouldn't be watching. So I think it was definitely interesting to see how well the show actually did, and I think it's going to even be cool to see if they hold that, if they kind of like continue doing that well, and see how it kind of compares to how well WandaVision or Falcon Winter Soldier kind of held their views. I believe WandaVision premiered with 655,000 compared to the 890 that Loki did. Falcon Winter Soldier was a little bit better. It got to 759,000. So, I mean, that's still, though, 759,000, that's like 800K, and Loki's almost at 900K. So they've really been doing well. I think Loki is going to be that MCU series content that we've been hoping for and wishing for with WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm still trying to, set my hype levels and my speculation accordingly. I don't want to get too bummered out, but it does seem like the creators are doing a lot better of a job just in kind of setting fan expectations, right? So we have, WandaVision, they mentioned Devil so much, and it wasn't until after the show that Jack Schaefer was like, oh yeah, man, Mephisto, never heard of him, right? Like, they just didn't set fan expectations very well. They went on and let them do it. And, I mean, we have this where even with that stained glass and the Devil, the writer of the show is very clear. This is not Mephisto. This is a reference to the Loki horns. This is just something, that we thought would be good in kind of setting up that similar, metaphor of how, the Devil was a fallen angel, and how Loki's kind of, the Loki variant is kind of similar to that. So they're really setting fan expectations well. I think they're doing a really great job with their press, with their PR, with all of that stuff. So I think it's going to be, dare I say it, a 10 out of 10 series. Whew. I know. I'm trying not to set my expectations too high, but I just can't. Loki is just too good, and the premiere was just too fantastic. But with those numbers too, I expect they'll continue to do super well. It will be interesting to see if that Wednesday premiere just held strong because it was the premiere, or if people are going to continue to watch on those Wednesdays, or if they're going to sleep and wait, because, I mean, to be honest, like, it's just a weird day to stay up all night and have to go to work the next day. People have 9 to 5s. Some people have to wake up real early for work in the morning, and I don't see it being great in the long run, if they continue to do things. I mean, maybe it will be great for the series. It's only 6 episodes, but I think, it might hurt Disney if they continue to do Wednesday premieres. I really don't see this working with any other series or continuing to do so. So, yeah, please no boner. Exactly. I do want to get into Q&A, guys. So if you have a question, comment, or concern, feel free to drop it in a super chat. If you are not able to super chat, don't worry. I will also be getting into the chat today. So, I'm going to start getting into these super chats. Let me pull them up. It's only 6 episodes. Yes, it's only 6 episodes. This is very true. So it's going into July 13th, I think, is the last day or July 14th, technically, because it's that Wednesday. Should be the last day that it is up. Let me pull up. Ayo, okay, I think I got it figured out, guys. All right. Let's see here. I need to refresh the page. We must refresh the page. All right, sweet. We have the first one seems to be a $5 holler coming in from Mas, my girl. Says, ladies taking over one stream at a time. Yes, we are. You know we are. You know the MCU set a precedent, and we are here to match it. We are here, ready. I have started the scroll invasion, and we will continue to take over. And y'all will love it. Or you will deal with it. Either way, it's going to happen. We have a $5 holler from Renee Ramon. He said, Nerdvengers, I'm heading out to start my birthday weekend. Happy birthday, Renee. 43 on Sunday. Dang, you're taking a whole weekend. That's pretty fantastic. Thanks for being a wonderful community and something I'm proud to be a part of. Yeah, I love this community. I really have been having a lot of fun getting to know everyone. And it's a pretty great group of nerds. Happy birthday as well. I'm glad you're getting to have a whole weekend to celebrate your birthday. That's super fun. And I look forward to hearing about your adventures. Someone said, Russell said in the chat, just bought my Black Widow IMAX tickets online. So excited to finally see the movie. Yeah, so I guess they have been available. Yeah, I guess that's happening. It'll be interesting to see how they do with their premiere. Christina says, I'm a nurse and work 312s. You bet I'm staying up to watch this. Well, I'm glad you like the show that much. It's definitely going to be great. I thought it was worth it. I felt really bad though, because I was so tired getting up, and then after watching it, I was like on this like Loki high, and I was just kind of like, how am I supposed to sleep now? I know I need to get some sleep, but like, dang, the show was good, and all I want to do is speculate, and my writer brain was like going crazy. It was going crazy. So yeah, I think it's going to be super interesting to see how they continue to do. Tim says, with his €2 holla, shout out to Sheev for killing it yesterday. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, Sheev the Wise, our very own Nerdvenger, who I'm not sure if he's here or if he's actually sleeping, which he should be doing if he is. But he killed it on that live stream last night. He's been doing our Bad Batch watch parties. He just started last night. I heard he did a fantastic job, and I'm excited to see him continue to do it. Oh, look, he's up. He's awake. That's me with Bad Batch. Yeah, Sheev's here. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how he continues to do with it. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to see some of y'all Nerdvengers continue to blow us away. Jedi Jen says, I hear ya, Elisa. I was so tired beforehand and then couldn't sleep after. See? I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy. Yay! Fantastic. Glad that I have people on my side here. Yeah, it really is. It like got me going. The music was fantastic and my brain was like going crazy. Going crazy with some stuff. Tim says he's dead. I think we should all have a moment of peace for Tim. Yeah. Cuckoo says, no Chavez comics for me. I quit buying new comics because they're garbage. Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. I read them online now. I actually really like having like floppy comics and having that in person in front of me. Ready to read. I don't know. It's just hard for my brain to read digital things. It's just difficult. So I do appreciate having the in-person copies. Sheev says, I wish I was sleeping, but I'm at work. I'm so sorry. That sounds not fun. But you did great. We're excited to see you continue to do those watch parties. It's going to be fun. Gonna be real fun. Ooh. Let us see. Masma says, I stay sleeping. I'm snore, Mas. Right on, right on. That is real good. Okay, yeah, tickets is why Black Widow is trending. That makes sense. So maybe not even the clip, but just the fact that tickets have gone on sale and are ready to go for IMAX. That makes a lot of sense. All right, that does. Okay, so maybe it's not even the clip. Maybe, I mean, it's just really interesting to see what's happening here in this space with how the pandy has kind of just affected all of the different aspects of cinema and how it's kind of, affecting theaters and stuff, but also just like some of that hype level for projects just isn't there anymore. And not just the Marvel stuff, there's been so many other things that have been affected by it. So it's going to be interesting to see how the movie industry and how cinema really recovers from that. We need to start planning a den meetup. Yes, we do. That'd be fantastic. That would be freaking fantastic. Am I right? All right, let's see. I watch them at 3 a.m. if I happen to be up. Yeah. I mean, I feel that. I think it's going to be interesting to see how, how that continues. I think a lot of people just are not willing to get up at 3 a.m. to watch a show on a Wednesday night of all nights. I think Fridays are really great just because, if you don't have work Friday, you can take that weekend off. You're ready to go for the weekend. And, if you have work, it's kind of like, well, it's Friday, so who cares, We can be a little dead. But Wednesdays is just kind of weird. Oh, this is interesting. Quentin Lee said, I think the pandy kind of killed my love of content. And I think that's a good point. I think people really got kind of trained to watch content a specific way during the pandy. I think it's interesting to think about just the fact of how, like, with kind of this change from watching normal TV to watching a streaming service, we've been kind of trained to watch things like just through binging, and so we just have a ton of content thrown at us all the time, and it's really like generally quick paced, a lot of action, things are just always being fed to us, and we're just watching it one right after the other. We're not like giving it time to sit, we're not giving it time to speculate, and with a lot of shows that works, like The Office or Friends, or properties like that don't require a lot of speculation. But I think we've been watching other properties like Star Wars or Bad Batch and stuff like that the same way. Not Bad Batch, but properties leading up to things like that the same way. And so now that we have these streaming services giving us one episode at a time, sometimes we can't handle it. And sometimes it's kind of just setting our expectations for us, and it's kind of allowing us all this time to speculate. And so our brains are going crazy. And I think it'll be interesting to see if we kind of retrain ourselves to watch week by week series, or if we're just going to enjoy things more binged. Because I think even people who, didn't care for WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier, they said when they went back and binged it, it was significantly better that second time around. And I think even that could be true of things like Falcon and Winter Soldier, which are, filmed to be like movies, to be like MCU movie projects. And so there seems to be some sort of disconnect. We're just used to seeing things play out all in front of us with the storylines just continuing, not having to wait and, break things down. Yeah, someone said sounds like we're spoiled. We are spoiled. We're way too spoiled. And so now we're just not used to it. And it's going to be interesting to see how we kind of recover and how fans kind of, continue to just love MCU, but also maybe have to do things a little bit differently. Yeah. Ooh, Jedi Mike says I have my Black Widow tickets here in the LA of Nerdventures meetup. Sweet. Sounds like some people getting together to say hi. But yeah, it does sound like we're spoiled. We're a little bit spoiled with our content. I know I was that way too. I would always have something in the background playing. Even when I was working on something or writing, I would always have something on in the background just playing through and binging series as I did other things. So I think even that we've kind of disconnected from some of this media as well, to the point where like I was watching I was watching shows, but I wasn't really watching them. I was just listening to them as I did other things. And so it wasn't like I really put time into appreciating the content or really what it stood for. So it's going to be interesting to see if other people are like that. I don't know. What do y'all think? I want to see. Okay, I have an idea. I would like to see a heart, a red heart in the chat, if you prefer to watch series week by week. I would like to see a blue heart in the chat. Or let's do purple. I want to see a purple heart in the chat if you prefer to binge things. Humor me for a while, please. Just humor me. I want to see where you guys are at. Do you prefer binging? Give me a purple heart. Week to week, give me a red heart. What y'all think? What do y'all think? What do you prefer? We got a red heart. Justin Simone being so sweet. He said, nice, Mike Porter. I have bad batch paused. Elisa was more important to me. Y'all are the best. Okay, I love this. We got some purple emojis for those who prefer binging. Red emojis for those who prefer week to week. Ooh, we got some blue from Moss Moss. I'm assuming that means it's a mixture of both. Maybe it depends on the content. All right, sweet. Both depends on the content. Heart number 3. Depends on the show and my mood. I guess that is a very good point. What's the question? Burdened with glorious boner text Avenger. I love that username. Purple is binging, if you prefer binging content. Red is if you prefer watching things week to week. Jedi Jen says, hard to say week by week. We have time to speculate, but binging is so satisfying sometimes. That's true. I mean, for Marvel, I do think this week by week has definitely allowed me to kind of get more into old Marvel comics and storylines like that. Been able to research some of these characters and their backgrounds a little deeper. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if it was just, binge. I wouldn't have dug as deep into it. So in that way, it's true. I mean, as much as I did not really care for WandaVision, I know a lot of people really loved WandaVision, and all power to them. I wish I loved that. I wish I loved that show, because it does a lot of really cool things, and I really liked a lot of different elements in it. But it's true. I think, one of the things that was really good is just, I was able to get into Marvel and get into the speculation and really learn what it means to appreciate stuff like that. So, if there's one thing WandaVision did that did me good, it was definitely the ability to kind of teach me how to enjoy Marvel properties, to really dig in. Nikki says, binge shows die quicker in the spotlight and are less fun and hype. We are too trained for instant gratification. Remember, weekly made Game of Thrones great. I mean, that is true. To be perfectly fair, I didn't watch Game of Thrones week to week, and I'm kind of just binging it. But, yeah, I think there's some good points. Jennifer Coyne also says, I love the suspense and speculation time that weekly gives us. It's very true. The hype is gone after very quickly. Very quickly if you just binge through things. But it depends on the property as well, too, right? Because things like The Office and Friends, people binge those all the time, but there's still a lot of hype. And I think maybe that just comes from the times changing. Maybe that just comes from the fact that, those are properties that people love and will probably always love. And they're very, nostalgic. So they have a little bit of a different feel to them. Nice. Mike Haas says a weekly episode allows for the audience to build anticipation and lets the show build up tension and play with cliffhanger moments. That's true. That's true. Sitcoms are easier to binge. Yeah, that's probably true. There's sitcoms kind of deal more with like a day-to-day, like episode by episode basis. Everything has a different storyline. There's generally a thread going through all of them, but they do tend to be kind of focused on what that show, like what that episode is about. Someone said today's Simp Day. Yes, it is. National Simp Day for the win. All right, guys, I'm going to hang out here for like 15 more minutes, and then I'm going to say goodbye. Ooh, this is a good point from Grand Admiral Dano. Says, how long did y'all talk about Stranger Things Season 3? A day? Maybe 2? True. It's true. I don't actually hear a lot about that anymore. It could just be the fact that I'm so immersed into Marvel right now that I don't really look into things like Stranger Things. But I feel like after the second season, I was kind of like, okay, this is cool, but I'm kind of done now. Someone said Bad Batch could be released in batches. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. New episodes of Loki should be released twice a week. I mean, there's only 6 episodes, though, so it'd only last for 3 weeks, and I just don't think... I don't think it would do well if it only lasted 3 weeks. I agree with you about Stranger Things. Thanks. Glad I have you backing me. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Some of those shows kind of like get really hyped for a while and they just kind of disappear. They just kind of disappear. Yeah, I think it's about to be a wrap for Stranger Things. I think you're right. I think a lot of that hype has died down. I think a lot of the actors are working on different things and they're ready to move on from the show. And it's honestly just getting to that point where it's kind of, it's ready to be done. The story's ready to end. There's it's just ready. Someone said, would you rather see Cad Bane or Hondo in live action? I'm torn. Cad Bane is badass, but Hondo. I'd have to... I'm gonna go with Cad Bane. Someone said, I hope Captain America 4 will be super good. You know, that's interesting that you bring that up because I don't know. I haven't heard a lot about Captain America 4 yet. I know that we're going to get Sam and the fact that he's going to be dealing with the fact that he doesn't have powers, which I'm not super excited to see. I think we've seen that already. I thought that's what Falcon and Winter Soldier was all about. So I just want to see. I want to see cool action stuff. I want to see him kick some butt. I'm ready. I'm ready for it to just, I'm ready for it to be cool again. Someone says odds are Loki breaks the TVA apart somehow and Multiverse of Madness comes from the multiple Nexus events. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good that's a good theory. I don't know if Loki will necessarily break the TVA. I think if anything, it's going to be more revealed that the TVA isn't what they said they are, and so they're going to fall apart because they've, lost that position of power. But I think it's possible. Anything's possible, right? It's possible, right? Who knows? All right, guys, I'm going to hang out for like 10 more minutes and then we're going to get out of here. Someone said, I respectfully disagree. I love Stranger Things. The pandemic made it seem like the hype is gone, but once it's back, it will be big again, I bet. I mean, it's possible. I'm just going to be real honest. For me, the hype kind of died. And I know with a lot of the people that were bugging me endlessly to watch Stranger Things, because I got on board really late, bothering me all the time. Have you watched Stranger Things yet? Have you watched Stranger Things yet? Oh, Elisa, have you watched this yet? Why haven't you seen it yet? A lot of those people, they've moved on to other things. They're enjoying other shows, and I just don't know if they're going to get back on board. But I would love to be wrong. I'd love to see them doing really amazing things with the story again and kind of getting back to those roots of what made that show so amazing. Robert St. Clair asked, are we going to see moments in our MCU film TV history where the TVA showed up and performed to reset on characters we know? Like, say, in Westview at the end of WandaVision. I think that could be a really interesting thing to see. I definitely would like to see that. And I think there's some great moments. I know there was speculation that one of the people in Loki that we see as Loki's kind of escaped from his collar in his cage, that a lot of people think they saw Peggy Carter. I think it looks a lot like Peggy Carter. And so I think it'd be really cool to see them kind of go back and see exactly what they've reset, exactly what they've had to change, and how it might even tie into things like What If? So, I don't know about Westview, but we'll see. What's with the DB Cooper thing, though? Carl Wickstrom asked. So, DB Cooper is, like, super infamous. He's one of the... He pulled off a major heist and got away with it and was never found. Ever. He was never found, and no one ever caught him. So, super, super interesting that they kind of explained that away with Loki. I thought it was kind of an interesting call to a real-world event that Loki had an effect on, and I think it might even... signify that we'll see more of that, how he's affected some of our real world events. So, yeah, TVA wouldn't do anything about Westview. That wasn't a time variance. It was it was altered via magic. I think so too. I don't think it's going to be too crazy. I think that's something maybe that was supposed to happen. I saw something that said TVA, or something about how Loki and female Loki are going to reset the entire TVA. All right. I gotta... You want to get into some real speculation? You want to hear what I think is gonna happen? Do you really? I don't know if I should share this theory. I'm just gonna be real honest. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I should. I don't know if y'all are ready for this theory. I just don't know. What do we think? Should I share this theory? Someone asked, is TVA in quantum realm? I think it's possible. I'm not sure. Y'all want to hear this theory I have that has to do with the Lokis? This is complete speculation. I have no proof of anything. Just to really put it out there. This is complete speculation. I have absolutely no proof of this. This is just my writer brain going crazy, okay? I just want to warn you guys with that. I don't know if this is even something in the playing cards, but I think it would be fantastic if they did it, okay? So you'll notice if you haven't seen episode 1 of Loki and you're not wanting to get blah, 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 blah. If you're not wanting to get spoilers, all right, get out of here. First of all, go watch the show. It's about time you got on that hype train, okay? It's about time you enjoyed this show with the rest of us. But I think you're going to want to get out of here if you haven't seen it. So just a fair warning, spoiler warning, in the fact that I'm going to talk about things that happened in episode 1 of Loki, okay? All right, here we go. You'll notice in the first episode of WandaVision. Wow, I'm just so traumatized I can't even move past it. You'll notice that in the first episode of Loki, you saw Loki fall from the sky into the Gobi Desert. What did that look like? That looked like a blue light, a blue asteroid falling to the ground, falling to the sand, okay? We saw that happen. Did we not? Did we not see that? That definitely happened, okay? You know what that looks a lot like to me? You know exactly. Here, I'm even going to pull it up. That's right. I'm doing my research. I will show you exactly what it looks like. It looks like to me something that we've seen in the trailers of Loki, okay? Yeah, it was kind of like a good callback to Iron Man, wasn't it? But I'm pretty sure this is something we've seen in the trailer. Complete speculation, no proof, as I would like to note. All right, let's get into the theater real quick. This is gonna be the last thing I talk about, okay? All right. You guys can see this. Oh, what was that? What was that asteroid thing? What was it? Do we know? Do we know? Could it be another variant of Loki? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm going too far into this. I don't know. But it looks to me like there could be some variants as worlds collide. We'll just have to see, though. We'll just have to see. I think it'd be cool. But with that, I'm gonna get out of here. All right? We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna say goodbye. And as we always say here at the Den of Nerds, I hope you have an awesome and a nerdy day. I'll see you in the next video. Guys, one of these days I'll learn how to play music, I promise. But we have a little stinger, okay? Just a little stinger. Let us not forget that this series was written by the same person who wrote Rick and Morty. Alright? There's some crazy alternate timelines in that show. Yes? Some crazy things. All I'm saying is, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of that other stuff in Loki, okay?